Hello. See, I said I would be back and I did it. I did that thing, didn't I? Didn't I? Okay. So, if you want to hear about me dating a DJ, if you want to hear about bad edges and my inability to install a synthetic wig, and if you want to see how I got this look, then you should probably keep watching. Okay, thank you. But go ahead and take a minute. I'm going to give you a second. Okay, did you subscribe? Did you? All right, good. Sweet. All right, let's go. Hi. Okay, so I'm back. I have decided to try lace front wigs. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not used to like seeing myself with like hair and like edges and stuff. So like I don't know if I can say that I don't like it because it's so like weird for me. It's something I'm not used to like seeing. And I'm like really not good at doing my edges. Let's not talk about it. It's so bad. But I paid money for this, so I'm gonna make it work. I guess we should start the video. That moment when you realize you didn't put primer on. Oops. Come on, little Ipsy sample. Work. I think I can successfully say that I have used all of this little sampler bottle. Ugh. Which is weird because I don't know if it's just me, but like I feel like I can get away with using an Ipsy sample for like ever. Usually just last for so long because I don't like do my makeup enough. But then like B, I feel like I have so many of them, especially like the primer samplers. I literally have a sample of Shape Tape that I got from Ipsy, and the same month that I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna run out, I'm gonna have to cave and actually go buy like a bottle of Shape Tape, they sent me another one. So today's story time is gonna be the DJ from the bar. So this is that same period in time that I was going to the bar with my cousin and, you know, living it up. And during this time, I had a love affair with the DJ from the bar. I cannot say his name, obviously. So we're going to call him Chad because he would be a Chad. Like, that would be his name. At this moment where I realized that I don't even remember what his name was. No, I'm just kidding. I remember. But it took me a second. So we're going to call him Chad. Chad, the DJ from the bar. So the first time that I went to the bar, Chad was there because they like, don't mind the fact that my like wig is not glued right here. Please, like, leave me alone. The wig cap is really small. I paid money for it, so I want to make it work. Okay, just leave me alone. So anyway, the bar that we went to had karaoke. So Chad was there the first night that I went there because like on the weekends, they would do karaoke. And that was like when we first went, was on a Friday. So he was there. I was like, should I get up and do karaoke? And my friend from work was like, yes, do it. This girl that I worked with was always like, oh my gosh, you have to come to the bar with me. Like, you have to like sing karaoke at the bar. And I was always just like, nah, like I have some of that freeze spray on my face. Hold on. I'm going to touch that up with some alcohol and I'll be right back. I don't think I'm cutting it as like a beauty influencer, okay? I kind of just look like a beauty influencer, but like from the food stamp collection. To my story. So Chad worked at the bar. He was the DJ. My friends were like, yo, bro, get up there, sing karaoke. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I got up there and Chad is like, what do you want to sing? And I'm like, I'm gonna do my tried and true Amy Winehouse because I already know I can sing that shit. This is just not looking good. Like, I promise it's gonna blend and then it's not gonna look quite so screwed up. But for right now, I look a little crazy. Oh, I forgot to mention. So before this, me and my cousin had been like dancing. So I was trying to dance and I looked ridiculous. And so he came up and he was like, nah, like you gotta do it like this. And proceeds to like white man twerk on the dance floor as if somehow that's gonna teach me. And so when I got up there and I sang, when I got done, he was like, oh, so you can't dance, but you can sing. And I was like, he was also older. I forgot to mention this. So he was like obviously older, like my mom's age. My mom's like 46, 47 at this time. And what can I say? Like, I have daddy issues. So anyway, so he's like kind of laying it on a little bit by flirting with me about the whole dancing thing. And I'm just like, okay, this old man is cute. Like, I'm sorry, but he is. So I tell my cousin, because I'm like pretty shy. And so I tell my cousin, I'm like, you know what? You should go up to him and you should tell him that I want him to blow my back out. I don't remember if I said that or if my cousin said it, but I definitely told her, like, tell him I want his number. And my cousin definitely told him that I wanted him to blow my back out. So that's kind of how that happened. My makeup is the epitome of like trust the process, because I'm gonna look crazy for like the first half of this video. But then magically, it's all gonna come together and you guys are gonna be upset that you made fun of me. It was 100% for silverware, because I bought a silverware set and it came with this. But I'm like, who puts their silverware in like a holder? Like, I totally understand putting utensils in a holder, but not like silverware. But I didn't need like a holder for my utensils. So I was like, I'm gonna put my makeup brushes in this because, you know, like DIY the house down, right? So my cousin goes up to him and she's like, hey, my cousin wants you to like blow her back out. And he was like, oh yeah. And she was like, yeah. So she gave him my number. And I didn't hear from him. Like, I didn't hear from him the rest of that night. Like, we went on with our lives. Like, she slept with the bouncer at the bar. Like, I went home and tucked myself in for bed. Did not hear from him. So remember how I said in my story, we decided to go to the bar the next day. Well, this was like a part of the deciding factor. It was that I knew that like the hot ass DJ was going to be there. The bar the next day, and he's there and he like comes up to me and he's like, hey, like, you know, your friend said that you need help with like your back. Not what she said, but okay. And so I was just like, I was offended that he had not messaged me. So I was like, no, but like deep down I was like, okay, maybe. So he just kind of looked at me like, oh, okay. And he like walked away and I was like, it's right. So he came up to me later and I think I said something to him where I was like, well, if you're not even going to text me, like, I'm obviously not going to let you help me like with my back. Like, and he was just like, well, your number is like, it's literally sitting on my pillow. I just like forgot to message you. And I'm like, so he keeps coming up to me and he's like, can I kiss you? Like, can I kiss you? And I'm like, no, like, I don't even know you. Don't, ew, come on. Let's be normal here for a second. And he like just kept coming over to our table and he kept like sitting next to me and he kept like flirting with me. And I was just like, boy, man, don't do this. And I don't remember exactly what was said this specific night outside of like me turning him down. And I can't remember if I actually ended up kissing him that night, but I think I did. Or I think he came up to me and like tried to kiss me and I was like, like, I've always been a bald-headed hoe. Okay, but I've always been a bald-headed hoe in private. So like a grown man coming up and like trying to kiss me is like, excuse me? Me? And I don't remember if that happened this specific day or the day after, because let's talk about the day after. We were just getting all we could out of it, okay? So we go the next day and we pull up there, you know, I'm looking cute. It's like a Sunday. It's like God's day. And I'm wearing like a zip up black shirt with my whole titty falling out. Jesus is crying over me, okay? So I show up to the bar. I think by this time he had texted me. I'm almost positive he had. And he, you know, like comes up, he like talks to me like the normal amount that he was like the day before. But things get real awkward when all of a sudden this man starts like, you know, playing karaoke. There's no one up there. And he starts singing himself to me. Like he literally just came over to my friends and my table and just starts serenading me to Hello by Lionel Richie. I have a video of this, but I can't put it on YouTube, which is so shitty because honestly, it is the funniest thing ever. Fuck whatever happened between me and this man after like our little rendezvous or, you know, dive bar love affair. Fuck whatever happened to him. But this is still one of the funniest moments ever of my entire life. He literally like busted down and serenaded me to Hello by Lionel Richie. And even better, like, oh, I wish I could show you this video. Like, he didn't just serenade me. He, like, took his shirt off. He, like, molested me. He, like, bit my ear and, like, sucked on my neck while singing. Oh, it was phenomenal. And, like, my friend, my cousin, like, they're just sitting there. They are giggling, kikiing, like, oh, my God, no. And recording this. So I'm like, I'm embarrassed. I'm like, y'all can't post this anywhere. My mom is on my Facebook, and I don't want her to know that I'm out here doing bald-headed hoe shit. Although telling this story is like admitting to it, right? Bro, my edges look whack, but I tried. And that's important. Love how when I like try to contour my Cupid's bow, it just looks like I have a chocolate milk mustache. But I think it looks good, so I continue to do it. Anyway, so he serenaded me. And listen, I'm like 21 years old. I'm a child. Like, I feel like a grown woman would be like, are you serious? Like, bro, like, don't do this. Don't embarrass yourself. But like me, I'm a little kid. So I'm like, oh my God, like, he's so into me. Like, I'm touched. I want to thank the little people that I had to step on to get this grown ass, weird ass man's attention. Thank you. Like, living for it. Like, if I was unsure about whether or not I wanted to let him into my little knickers, I was sold at this point. Like, not Lionel Richie. It's over. It's over. My pants are coming up. It is over. Ugh. Oh, man, but it took a left turn real quick. So, after that, he's like texting me and stuff, and we're like making plans to see each other. And one night he decides like he's gonna come over, and I'm like, okay, like, cool, like, yeah, I'd love to see you, daddy. Like, so he comes over. He's like, okay, put your coat on. And I'm like, why? Like, why do I need to put my coat on? And he's like, we're gonna go to a hotel. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm like, I have my own place. Like, there's nothing that we need to do that we can't do here. I'm not going to a hotel with you. So he gives up after, like, I don't know, I would say he probably only argued with me for a couple minutes before he was just like, okay, fine. And I'm like, that's what I thought. So we agree that we're gonna stay at my house because I was not trying to go to any freaking hotel with this middle-aged man that I barely knew. So we're sitting on my bed, we're like talking and stuff and like whatever, having a good old time. And all of a sudden, you know, things start to get like hot and heavy. Like, you know why I invited him over? I didn't invite him over to look at my doll collection. I invited him over to bust it. So things got hot and heavy. So, you know, whatever. All of a sudden, he starts doing like really weird things. I mean, I wasn't going to take it that far, but I see that you did. So, okay, like, points for originality. This man started like covering my whole face with his hand. Like, he would literally like look at me like he was about to bust. And then he would like cover my whole face. Which is weird, right? Is that just me? Like, I just felt like that was weird. Like, why? Like, but what was the purpose of it? Like, I don't understand. It's weird. I don't know. And then, okay, we're going to have a conversation about saliva. I'm not opposed to spitting. Like, I want to make that very clear. I'm not shaming people who enjoy the spitting extracurriculars. I myself have been known to partake. But there's a way to do it, and there's a way to not do it. And at this point in my life, I didn't know that I was into those extracurricular activities. And I feel as though, even if I was, this man took it a little bit too far. Because he literally, we were making out, he stops, he looks at me like a piece of cake, and goes right on the side of my face. Like, not in my mouth, and it wasn't sexy, like, it was just right on the side of my face. And I'm like, after this, people that I was hanging out with and going to the bar with that were not like my cousin and her friend. Cause like we were like newcomers, you know, like we didn't know anybody. We didn't know their business. But after this, I'm telling people this story about this man, like that I went to the bar with, and they're kind of telling me, like, yeah, he's kind of weird. Like, he's kind of weird. You know, he's like, I don't know. So I'm hearing that part of the reason why he wanted to take me to a hotel was because he lives with his mom, which I'm like, but I don't know why that would affect me. Like, I have my own place, but okay. I'm also hearing that he's like super running around town with all the women of the bar and like I should be careful. And I'm like, oh. So I'm kind of being weary, but then also like some of his behavior is kind of starting to like piss me off. Like I'm going to the bar and I'm like saying to him like, hey, you should come over like after you're done working. Like you should come over, like we can hang out and cuddle and, you know, and engage in other extracurricular activities. And he's like, I don't know about tonight. Like, I don't know. And I'm kind of starting to feel some type of way because I'm like, but why? Like, what did I do? Well, one night he comes over to my friends and I's table and he's like talking mad shit. Like, he's like saying things like, oh yeah, I've slept with like 30 women this past year and like da da da, like saying really weird stuff right in front of me. Like, bro, like, I've been giving you extracurricular activity privileges. Like, what? This is a mouthful. But I'm just like, ew, like, why are you talking about that? Like, why are you being a douche? Especially when you're, like, kind of being weird about, like, coming over to my house. And also, how are you going to spit in my face, serenade me to Lionel Richie, and then have the audacity to treat me like I'm the one that needs to be ghosted in this situation? Bro, I just don't have standards. To not talk ill about myself. I have standards. They just include middle-aged men who serenade 20-year-olds at the bar. You know how your like aunt always tells you like, you can't pick up guys from the bar. And you're like, okay, like, all right, you know, but you're also like, bitch, no, you can't. Like, honestly, you just can't. Like, I don't care if you've been together for 10 years and you have 2 children. I don't care. Was a mistake. So he was just being a super douche that night. I'm going to do my brows off camera. This is hard. It's like, I think I look like Megan Thee Stallion, but like really I just look like Michael Jackson. Tell me I'm wrong though. Where's the lie? So, the DJ. He's being weird. I'm not digging it. I'm starting to feel some type of way. He comes over, starts bragging about his sexual prowess. I'm kind of like, ew. That night, I'm upset after that. But then also my cousin and my friends were just being so freaking obnoxious. Like, they had called last call. They're trying to get everyone out of the bar. Those bitches like won't get up. They keep acting a fool. They keep ordering drinks. I'm like, bro, I just want to go home. Like, this man has punked me in front of God and everyone. He has punked me and I would like to go home. Side note, I forgot to mention, like, this night before he like punked me and pissed me off, there was this woman in the bathroom, this like old crusty white woman. So she came up to me and she was like, are you Chad's new woman? I was like, I don't know. Am I? It's actually a really good question, Betty. I don't know. Like, do you know? Have you heard something I haven't heard? Because if you know, you have to tell me. Who does that? Like, are you that salty? Like, I mean, I've heard he's pretty easy. Like, you probably have a chance, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have a shot. You should just go for it, really. Like, go for it. Anyway, I just thought I had to mention that because it's so funny. She just came up to me like out of nowhere and she was like, so are you Chad's new girl? And I was just like, so I'm pissed off. My friends are taking forever to leave. I'm really in my feelings. And he like, I leave and he starts texting me and he's like, you need to chill. And I'm like, you need to chill, bitch. So I start going off. I'm like, listen, princess. I was like, I'm not a fan of you punking me in front of my friends. Like, that's pretty disrespectful. I don't know what I did to you, but like, and this was like a big guy. Like, he was like a big, beefy, like, guy, he had been in the Marines. So when I called him princess, I might have rubbed him the wrong way, but I don't care. So he didn't respond. So I was pissed. So the next day I just called him and he like forwarded my call. So bitch, I called him again. And then he forwarded my call. And then he like texted me and he was like, I'm at dinner with my daughter right now. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, whatever. I let it go. Like I get ready because, you know, we're going to the bar again. And I'm like, I'll just talk to him when I get there. So I get to the bar and I go up to him and I'm like, hey, like, I'm sorry that I got pissed off earlier. I was like, I just don't like that you treated me that way. And then you wouldn't even like continue the conversation with me about like why I was upset. And he was like, I understand, we're cool. And I was like, okay, we're good. That's good. I was like, so do you want to like come over later? And he's like, unfortunately, I think our ship has sailed. And I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I was a little bit more upset than that. I think I cried, actually. Leave me alone. I didn't know any better. My mama didn't raise me right. Just kidding. Oh my God. She will 100% see this. And I want to clarify that I am joking. So anyway, so I'm pretty upset. So I tell my cousin, like, if you have any cute dude friends, like, please, like, invite them to come here and like pretend to be my little love affair so I can make him upset. So she does get like a dude to show up and he does a pretty good job of like faking it for me. Like, I just didn't want to look vulnerable. I realized now that was a really stupid idea, but at the time, like, I just thought, you know, I don't know. I was hurt, you know? Yes. Deal. That's neutral. That's like, you know, that's natural. Sun's hitting me just right, you know? All right, we're back. We're back. What you don't know is that I stopped my camera and ran across my room with no pants on to grab a charger. That's what you don't know. Well, now you know. Oh, I'm upset at the bar. Eventually, my cousin abandons me to go bar hopping with someone else, which this is just like, I should have seen it coming that she had no soul. Like, I should have seen that shit coming. So she abandons me to go bar hopping with some other girl. So I'm like stuck at the bar because I was the DD and I just like, I don't want to leave yet, you know? I'm like still kind of hoping that he's going to regret it and he's going to come up to me and be like, listen, like, I'm sorry and I shouldn't have abandoned you, so that I can be like, it's okay. It's fine. But you know, that day never came. He just was like, whatever. There's this girl there and her and I start talking. And she's telling me all about him, like telling me all of his dirt. She's like, girl, you're not the first one to get your feelings hurt by him. He's a man-ho. He's always sleeping with everybody. She's like, he's gross. Like, he's even tried to hit on me and he knows that my boyfriend and I come here all the time. She's like, don't take it personally. Like, that's just who he is. And I'm like, yes. I don't think I'm going to do fake eyelashes. Like, I just don't feel like it. That's a lot of work, you know? It's like a lot of work. Which is crazy because I just got some new eyelashes. So she's basically just like giving me a pep talk. Like, don't be upset. Like, don't lose face over him. Like, he's not worth it. He treats the girls around here like crap. And he's always like getting in trouble for how he treats like girls and how he's always like sleeping around and causing conflict for the bar owner and stuff. And she was telling me that he recently got in trouble because two girls had gotten into like a full on like fist fight over him. And this was like not even long before I started showing up to the ballsy of him to like cause that type of conflict and then like immediately move on to the next victim. Like, wow. Like, this man had no shame. So she's just like giving me a little pep talk and I'm telling her, how he made me feel and how like I'm just really upset. And so she's like, hold on, I gotta go catch up with my boyfriend, but like I'll be back, you know? And so I'm like, okay, you know, like I'll see you in a second. So in the bitch, are you just like not gonna cooperate? Thank you. So in the time that she's doing that, like I go to the restroom, I'm like peeing, you know, doing my shit, and then I come out and I'm sitting at the bar. I'd ordered another tequila shot. Like, I'm waiting for her to walk back over because she's like talking to her boyfriend. And all of a sudden, Chad starts walking toward me. And I'm like, you know, my heart's like jumping. I'm like, yes. So he comes over and he's like, what did you say about me? And I'm like, nothing. And he's like, why are you talking about me? And I'm like, well, I don't know, Chad. Like, maybe because you literally like dumped me like today. Now, to be fair, like I probably should have just left the bar the moment that he like broke it off because like, you know, my feelings were too hurt for me to not end up acting out of pocket. But I still don't think that I was in the wrong for like talking about it. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. Ugh. So anyway, he comes up and he's like, why are you talking about me to people? And I was like, I really am not. Like, I just was like talking about how you hurt my feelings and whatnot. And he's like, don't talk about me. Don't mention my name in this bar or I'll have you thrown out of here. So at this point I started to snap because I was like, how are you going to publicly dump me and then be upset? So I started going off and I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, get the fuck out of my face. And what did he do? He got the fuck out of my face. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So after that, I made a point to just like ignore his existence. I did. So anyway, I did tell the manager because I was just like, no, like I'm not going to let him act like that. That's ridiculous. So the next time I went in there, I like went up to him and I was like, listen, like I'm going to keep coming to this bar. So, yeah. We never really had much of a friendship after that. Nothing ever happened. There were a couple times he made sexual innuendos towards me and I was just like, no. Like, not only did you embarrass me, but you spit on my face. I was like, yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. I was like, thanks for the offer though. He eventually got fired from the bar for harassing my friend who is a lesbian and telling her like, just very discriminatory things, etc. So he did eventually get fired because of that, which I think is hilarious. He does not go to that bar as far as I have seen. I have not seen him there. Like, I've been there a couple times. I haven't seen him there. So I'm pretty positive he doesn't even go in there anymore. But the whole, like, that man was just pathetic in general. Like, he was just pathetic. But with that being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And I hope that you enjoyed my story time. I hope you got some laughs out of it. I'll be back. I'll be coming in hot with another one. Just not another one about the DJ because he's weird. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh my God, how did I forget this? Okay, really quick. So, he would sing karaoke a lot. But he would, like, do this thing before we started really talking and like before I like kissed him that night or whatever, he was doing this thing where he like pounded on his chest and then pointed at me like, and I don't know why my P word popped when he did that. I don't know why, because I look at it now and I laugh, but in the moment I was like, oh, not a gorilla. Not a gorilla. Tarzan who? Tarzan who? And it's funny because I wasn't the only girl he did that to. I actually had the pleasure of seeing him do that to 2 other girls. And according to my friend who had been going to that bar for a long time, I was not the first. And I know I wasn't the last. Hilarious. He's weird. Yeah, he's weird. Like, we don't fuck with him. I will put the products in the description box. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, whatever. Okay, just do your part to grow me. All right, thank you. I'll be back next week, next month, next millennium, whatever. I'll be back. And yeah, I hope you have a pleasant day, and I really hope that you enjoyed this story about the gorilla DJ man. Thank you and good night.